You know, when they said I'd be meeting a prince, I pictured a crown and a throne, not spiky hair and a death glare. You're Vegeta, right? Earth's seen its fair share of aliens, but you walk around like you own the place. What's the deal with that? You here to save the planet, conquer it, or just flex for the cameras?
I don't need validation from insects with flashing lights. I am the prince of all Saiyans, heir to a warrior race that ruled entire galaxies before your species learned to crawl. Tent, I don't flex. I demonstrate power. When I fight, it's not for spectacle. It's to remind creatures like you that survival belongs to the strong, not to clowns in red tights playing hero.
Guess I should have worn my black suit today. At least then I'd look scary enough for you to take me seriously. You talk a lot about strength like it's the only currency that matters. Where I come from, the strongest guy isn't always the best guy. The guy who cares the most usually wins. Ever hear of someone named Steve Rogers? Captain America? Guy couldn't bench press a car, but he could lead armies.
Sentimentality masquerading as leadership. Armies follow him because they are weak and need a symbol to cling to. Your Captain America would be vaporized in seconds in a real battle, Tent. Caring doesn't stop an energy blast. I've fought gods, literal gods of destruction. Your quaint ideals crumble in the face of someone who can shatter planets with a flick of their wrist.
Funny thing about gods, they fall just like everyone else. Thor's a literal god, and I've seen him take a beating from regular humans with enough guts to stand their ground. Strength like yours can destroy worlds, sure, but it can't hold them together. When Thanos snapped half the universe away, it wasn't raw power that brought everyone back. It was a team of people willing to fight for something bigger than themselves.
10 teams are crutches. They loot power, forcing warriors to depend on one another. I've seen this firsthand. Kakarot Goku relies on his friends on fusion techniques, Tent on borrowed energy from others. I've always believed in standing alone. A Saiyan's pride demands it. When you lean on others, you grow soft. And when the final blow comes, you will be too weak to stand.
See, that's where we're wired differently. My strength doesn't come despite others. It comes because of them. Every punch I throw has Aunt May, MJ, Ned, and a whole city behind it. If I screw up, they're the ones who pay. You think standing alone makes you strong? Nah, it just means when you fall, there's no one there to catch you. Even Batman figured that out eventually.
A man in a bat costume is your example. Pathetic. Mortals who dress as predators are still prey. I've fought beings who can obliterate entire timelines. You speak of falling, as though defeat is some kind of lesson. When a Saiyan falls, he rises stronger, yes, but only because of his own will, not because someone held his hand. Your web may catch you, Spider-Man, but it will strangle you when you try to rise higher.
You know, for someone obsessed with power, you sound like a guy terrified of letting anyone get close. Ever stop to think maybe that pride is just fear in a fancy suit? You keep saying, Saiyan this, Saiyan that, but last I checked, your whole planet's gone. You're carrying a banner for a kingdom that doesn't exist anymore. Maybe clinging to that pride keeps you from admitting you're lonely.
Tent, my pride is my people's legacy. It is the only thing that kept me from being reduced to a servant under Frieza's boot. Tent, you dare speak of loneliness when your greatest tragedy is some petty criminal shooting your uncle. My entire race was slaughtered while I was forced to serve the one who destroyed them. I fight not because I fear solitude, but because I will never again be powerless.
You're right. My tragedy is small compared to yours. But pain isn't a competition. Uncle Ben's death shaped me the same way your planet's destruction shaped you. The difference is what we do with that pain. You turned yours into anger and domination. I turned mine into responsibility. My uncle's last words were about using my gifts to help others. Who gave you your philosophy, Vegeta? Frieza!
Tent, Frieza taught me cruelty, yes. But he also revealed the truth of the universe. Mercy is weakness. Those who hesitate die. I once believed serving him would give me a chance to strike back, Tent, to avenge my people. In time, I realized vengeance alone was hollow. So I sought strength for its own sake. I would surpass him, surpass Kakarot, surpass even the gods. That is purpose. That is survival.
Strength without direction is just a tornado tearing through everything in its path. Look at Thanos. He thought collecting stones made him a god. But in the end, he was just a lonely guy sitting in a field after everyone he saved turned to dust. You're chasing power for power's sake, but when you finally get there, what's left? A throne made of ash.
Thanos was a fool obsessed with balance. I seek no balance. I seek to be the pinnacle, the warrior who answers to no one. You speak as though power is a burden. It is liberation. 10. When you possess absolute strength, no one can dictate your destiny. Not gods, not tyrants, not even fate itself. I will never kneel again.
I get it. You never want to feel helpless again. But here's the thing, destiny isn't a chain, it's a choice. If you only fight for yourself, you'll always be at war. I've seen worlds saved not by the strongest fighter, but by the guy who refused to quit on people. Doctor Strange rewound time 1,000,000 times to find a single chance to save us. That wasn't strength, that was love.
Love another fragile illusion. It dies with the body. I watch comrades die, families crumble, and empires fall. Love did not protect them. Only strength endures. Even Kakarot's optimism cannot change that. He believes every enemy can become an ally if given enough mercy. I've watched him spare monsters who later return to slaughter innocents. Love clouds judgment, power sharpens it.
Mercy's not about trusting monsters, it's about refusing to become one. I've had chances to kill guys like Green Goblin, Kingpin, even Doc Ock when he crossed the line. But if I do that, I'm no better than them. Batman gets this. Superman gets this. Even Wolverine on his good days gets this. You think power sharpens you, but it actually isolates you. Pretty soon, you're just a guy screaming into the void, punching shadows.
Isolation is the price of greatness. Kakarot can have his friends and his laughter. I am the shield forged by solitude. When Majin Buu threatened to destroy everything, it was my sacrifice, not theirs. That bought time for salvation. In that moment, I understood something you never will. Sometimes one warrior standing alone is the only barrier between existence and annihilation.
And yet, even then, you weren't truly alone. Goku, the others, they built on your sacrifice. Without them, your stand would have been meaningless. You keep rewriting the story so you're the only hero. But the truth is, even the strongest warrior needs someone to fight for. Who do you fight for, Vegeta? Because if the answer's just yourself, that power will eat you alive.
I fight for my family now. For Bulma, for Trunks, for the future I once thought impossible. Do not mistake me, Spider-Man. This does not weaken me. It fuels me. My pride has evolved. It is no longer just about Saiyan blood. It is about ensuring that no one can ever threaten what I have built. My power is the wall that shields them.
Now we're getting somewhere. See, that's not so different from me. I swing through this city every night because I know what happens when someone like me decides it's not my problem. The wall you talk about, I build it with webs, one thread at a time. The difference is, I don't think I own the wall. I just hold it up for as long as I can.
Perhaps there is merit in that perspective. But do not mistake my evolution for humility. My path will always be one of dominance. I will surpass Kakarot. I will surpass every god who dares claim authority. You may save your city, your fragile Earth, but I will save the multiverse by conquering it. Strength is my language, that the cosmos will learn to listen.
You talk about multiverses like they're pawns on a chessboard. Funny thing, I've been to a few of those. I've seen versions of myself who made choices they regret every single day. Power isn't what destroys them. Pride is. You're on a razor's edge, Vegeta. Keep chasing power, and one day you'll look back and realize you've become the very tyrant you swore to destroy.
And perhaps one day you will look back and realize your mercy cost more lives than my wrath ever could. We stand at opposite ends of a spectrum. Spider-Man, your web of compassion versus my ascension through strength. When the final battle comes, history will decide which ideal endures. But make no mistake, if your world ever stands in my way, I will not hesitate, and neither I suspect will you.